My sister leaned in, her voice low. "He's too weak to stop us," she hissed, then helped herself to $37,400 from my inheritance for her dream wedding. Can you believe it? I didn't say a word. Just slipped out and called Grandpa's lawyer right there at the reception. The cops showed up before the cake was even cut, slapping her with fraud charges. 56 missed calls later, and she's still whining from her jail cell. Look, my sister and we were never close. I'm 28, a guy, and she's always been the favorite. That's just how it was. Since we were kids, she was the golden girl, perfect in mom and dad's eyes. Me, I was the quiet one, keeping to myself, trying not to cause any trouble. Grandpa was different, though. He saw right through her act. He always had a soft spot for me. He'd tell me, "You've got a good head on your shoulders," while we were fishing at his lake house. He never sugarcoated it, always saying my sister just wanted things handed to her. When Grandpa died 3 months ago, man, it crushed me. He was 87, he'd lived a long life, but still, the world felt empty. The funeral was a downer. My sister put on this whole dramatic show, practically begging everyone to see how heartbroken she was. I just sat there, remembering our fishing trips and his stories about the Korean War. A week later, we were all at Grandpa's lawyer's office for the will reading. My parents, my sister, her fiancé, Derek, the whole shebang. Mr. Goldstein, this serious guy, probably in his 60s, he'd been Grandpa's friend for ages. He read, "To my granddaughter, I leave $15,000. My sister's face just crumpled. I had a feeling things were going to be different. Then, bam, the news hit. "To my grandson, I leave the lake house, which is worth about $450,000, and my investment accounts totaling $212,000. The whole room just went quiet. My sister's face got all blotchy. Dad's jaw dropped. Mom was just staring down at the floor. "This is total crap," my sister finally yelled. "He gets everything, and I get next to nothing? Mr. Goldstein just peered over his glasses at her. "Your grandfather was very clear about what he wanted. This is all exactly what he decided, not what I wanted." The ride home was awful. My sister wouldn't even look at me. Dad kept trying to play peacekeeper, saying I should be generous and share more with her. Mom just kept letting out these long, heavy sighs in the back. I didn't say a word. I was trying to take it all in. Honestly, I was hurting. That lake house meant the world to me. It wasn't just a piece of property. That's where Grandpa taught me to fish, where we had those real talks, where I figured out the kind of guy I wanted to become. 2 weeks went by. I went up to the lake house, sat on the dock, and just thought about Grandpa. I decided I was going to stay there. I'd leave my job teaching history and find a school closer to the lake. Make a fresh start. That's when the texts from my sister started pouring in. "We need to talk about Grandpa's money. It's not fair you got it all. My wedding is in 4 months, and I need more to make it amazing." I just ignored every single one. The inheritance wasn't about her wedding. It was all of Grandpa's hard-earned money, you know? His land, something to be cherished, not wasted on a single day of partying. Then came the family get-together. Mom and Dad were adamant we all needed to talk things through. I knew it was a bad idea, but I still went. Dad started in about the wedding while we ate pot roast. The venue fell through for my sister. And the new place? It's more expensive. She needed help. Actually, my sister corrected, smiling at Derek, it was my dream venue. It's where all the famous people get married. 50 grand for the weekend. "We already put down a deposit," she said. I almost lost it. 50,000 for the place? And the dress, the food, the flowers, she just kept going like it was a shopping list. "We're looking at about 95 grand all told." I finally managed to say, "That's insane." "Well, not all of us want to live like recluses," she shot back. "Some of us actually have a reputation to uphold." Derek, the banking guy with the permanent smirk, just nodded. "My cousins all had weddings that cost over 100 grand. It's just what we do." I stared down at my plate. "I'm sorry about the venue, but that's not what Grandpa's money was for." My sister slammed her hand down on the table. "You got over $600,000. I got 15. How is that fair?" My dad leaned in. "Son, your grandfather wouldn't want us fighting over money. Maybe you could give your sister some money for the wedding, like a $40,000 loan?" My sister laughed. "He doesn't need that money. He's a teacher. What's he going to do with investment accounts?" I stood up. "I need to go to the bathroom." As I was heading down the hall, I caught my sister and Mom talking in the kitchen. "He's always been such a pushover," she was saying. "We'll get him to do it. Dad's working on it right now." Mom sounded unsure, though. "I don't know, sweetie," she said. "He seems pretty determined to hold on to everything." my sister whispered. He's too spineless to stop us. If he won't just give it up, I'll move the money myself. She added, I still have his login info from when I helped him with online banking last year. I just froze. Was she really planning to steal from me? She went on, just $37,400. Enough for the wedding venue and my dress. He probably won't even notice for ages. And by then the wedding will be over anyway. What's he gonna do, sue his own sister? I turned around and went back to the dining room, claimed I had a headache, and bilayed early. On the drive home, I immediately called my bank and changed every single password. Then I called Mr. Goldstein and left a frantic message, asking to meet ASAP. The next morning, my phone was blowing up with notifications. Several transfers, totaling that exact amount, had been tried from my accounts overnight, but they were blocked because of the password changes. Minutes later, my sister called, yelling, "What did you do to your accounts?" I just said, "Changed my passwords. You know, standard security stuff." "I need that money now," she snapped. "The venue is going to cancel. Today's the deadline and we still don't have the full payment." I couldn't help but ask, "You mean the money you were trying to steal from me?" She took a beat. "I don't know what you're talking about." I told her. I heard the whole conversation in the kitchen. The "he's too weak to stop you" speech. Real charming. "You're twisting things around, I swear." That was it. I hung up on my sister. It was only a few minutes later that my dad and then Mom called. I didn't even pick up, straight to voicemail for both of them. Then I drove to meet Mr. Goldstein. After I told him everything, he said it was really messed up. He told me my grandfather was worried about something like this happening. That's why he set up the will the way he did. I asked him what he meant. He explained my sister had a track record of shady money stuff. My grandfather caught her trying to get him to sign over some property to her a couple of years back, saying it was just a normal formality. I wasn't completely shocked, honestly. I asked what I should do. He told me to document everything, to get screenshots of the money transfers, save all the texts. And then he paused, said there was something else I should know. He took out a sealed envelope from his desk. It was from my grandfather, and he was supposed to give it to me if my sister caused any trouble with the inheritance. Inside was a letter and a USB drive. The letter said grandfather had been keeping tabs on my sister's attempts to swindle him out of money for years. The drive had recordings, copies of fake papers she tried to get him to sign, and a whole list of money she'd borrowed but never paid back. The letter ended with, "She's sick, son. Not in a way doctors can help. She thinks she's owed everything without lifting a finger." He wrote that he'd tried to help her for years, but some lessons just had to be learned the hard way. "Look, don't let her do what she tried to pull on me." I swear, it was like I finally saw my sister for who she really was. Things got crazy over the next few months. She started telling everyone in the family that I was keeping money Grandpa wanted her to have. She said I'd messed with him when he was getting older. Some of them actually believed her, and a few of my cousins wouldn't even talk to me anymore. Dad kept trying to fix things, saying I should just be the bigger person. Mom would call me, just bawling, saying I was ruining everything. All the while, my sister's wedding plans were going forward, full steam ahead. She defound the money somewhere. Later, I found out she'd taken out 3 awful, high-interest loans and even gotten Mom to give her their retirement savings with a promise to pay it back after she dealt with the inheritance stuff with me. Then, about 2 weeks before the wedding, I got an invitation. I was shocked, honestly. I figured I was totally out of the picture. There was a handwritten note attached. "Let's forget the past. Family's family. Please come. Love, sis." Something just felt wrong. I called the one cousin I still trusted. She was in the wedding party. She said, "Oh yeah, they're up to something." She told me Derek's dad was planning to confront me at the reception about me doing the right thing for the family. They'd been going around telling everyone I stole her inheritance. That same day, I checked my bank accounts and I nearly threw up. Somehow, $37,400 had been transferred out that morning. I called the bank's fraud department right away, then I called Mr. Goldstein. The bank tracked down where the money went. Turns out, my sister had used Mom's computer. I must have left my banking stuff logged in. The cash went straight to the wedding place and some fancy dress store. Mr. Goldstein didn't pull any punches. "This is major theft," he said. "We have to go to the cops." I was really torn. He said, "She's your sister, yeah, but she stole almost 40 grand from you. Your grandpa warned you about this. Some things you just gotta learn the hard way." After we filed the report, the detective said they weren't gonna arrest her right then. They explained they'd look into it first, get all the evidence together. He said these family money things are always messy. I went to the wedding. It was over the top. Seriously, sculptures, champagne fountains. The centerpieces alone must have cost a fortune. I put on a smile, gave her my congrats, took pictures with everyone. She looked relieved, probably figured I hadn't noticed the money yet. At the reception, Derek's dad pulled me aside by the bar, just like I knew he would. He said, martini in hand, "So you're the brother who's been giving my new daughter-in-law a hard time, huh?" "Yeah," I said. He goes, "In my family, we believe in sharing the wealth. Is that right?" I just looked at him. He kept going. "A man's judged by how he treats his family." I wouldn't want Derek's business buddies to hear about his brother-in-law being such a cheapskate. Before I could even say anything, a whole bunch of commotion started at the front door. 3 cops walked in, checking things out. My sister saw them and looked right at me. All the color just vanished from her face. She knew. The detective I'd talked to had brought them to our table. "Katherine Johnson?" he asked her. "Yes," she whispered. "You're under arrest for felony theft and wire fraud. You have the right to remain silent." The whole reception went crazy. Derek was yelling. His dad wanted to know what was going on. Mom started sobbing. Dad just stood there, frozen, watching his precious daughter get handcuffed at her wedding. As they took her away, she glared at me. "You bastard," she hissed. "On her wedding day?" I didn't say anything. I just watched as they walked her through the stunned crowd in that $12,000 dress, the one she'd paid for with my stolen money. Dad came over right away. "What have you done? Stop this right now." I didn't pick the time, I told him coolly. "She stole $37,400 from me. That's a felony." "She was going to pay it back," Mom cried. "Like she paid back Grandpa, or your retirement money she talked you into giving her?" Mom's face went blank. "How did you?" Derek stomped over, face twisted with anger. "You ruined everything. Do you know how this makes my family look? Probably about as bad as marrying a thief, I'd guess." The fallout was pretty predictable. My sister spent 2 nights in jail before Derek's family bylaid her out. It was a really serious felony case, because of how much she stole and how planned it all was. Grandpa's records, which my lawyer, Mr. Goldstein, showed she'd been doing this kind of thing before. The week after the wedding, my phone blew up 56 missed calls. It was my sister, my parents, Derek, his folks, and a bunch of other relatives. The messages were all over the place, threats, crying please, begging me to drop the charges. I didn't answer a single one. The prosecutor offered her a deal: pay back the money, do community service, and 30 days in county jail. She laughed at it. She thought she'd get away with it, or that I'd eventually back down. Nope. 6 months later, she got 18 months in prison for stealing and wire fraud. The judge was totally unimpressed. She didn't show any remorse, kept saying the money was hers anyway. Derek filed for an annulment a week after that. My dad still won't talk to me. Mom calls sometimes, mostly just to make me feel guilty about ruining my sister's life. I moved into Grandpa's place by the lake. It's permanent now. I spend a lot of time on the dock, watching the sunsets. I think Grandpa knew exactly what was going to happen. He could have split everything evenly, but he understood my sister better than anyone else. Some things, you just gotta learn the hard way. I got a letter from her prison last week. It was short. "I resent you for what you did, but honestly, I'm probably angrier at myself. Grandpa always warned me I'd wind up in this mess if I didn't straighten up. Guess he knew me better than I knew myself. It wasn't an apology, not really, but at least it was something. Maybe the first real thing she'd said to me in ages." I walked down to the lake, reread that letter one last time, and then slipped it into my tackle box, right beside Grandpa's old watch. Some scars just don't seem to fade, but the water's calm and the fish are biting. Guess that's just how life goes.